All right, so some folks got the memo. We are here. I want to know who actually went out and got a run in this morning. Who still went out and ran this morning? I see no hands. We took advantage of the sleep in. Not mad about it. I might go out a little bit later. We have been getting like the little flurries. It hasn't started snowing, but I was watching the news. I guess like the northern part, North Georgia, has gotten like actual snow that has stuck to the ground. Has anybody seen actual snow sticking to the ground where you are living? Okay. I don't see any hands. Oh, Ryan, you said yeah? Stuck to the ground? Oh, okay. All right, Smyrna. Lavar. Oh, okay. Yeah, we have none of that. It's cold though, for sure. All right. So wait, at least you're what are you in? East, no, West Cobb, Smyrna, and Ryan is more like East Smyrna. So Ryan got snow. At least you don't have snow. Okay. Who knows?
It's still coming
All
in.
right. People are still coming in. Okay, send a quick Eventbrite. Okay, let's see here.
I am getting on that Peloton as soon as we get off of here, though.
You're gonna get on Peloton? All right. Okay. All right. So it looks like the admits have slowed down. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome. I want to thank everybody for joining us and pivoting with us. I was telling Kathryn and Ryan and Lavar that this was giving me like COVID PTSD on the whole like having to switch to everything to virtual at the last minute. But I also thought about how we learned during that time period, especially those of us who were event leaders and event directors, how like those were tools that we could actually use to keep things going. I know we did a lot of Zoom check-ins with our run crew back during that time, but West Midtown Run Club and the Running Nerds community. And I think it really did help to keep us, at least connected. So at least we have these tools. I know I actually started my Zoom account during that time, but this is not where we want to stay. So we just gonna enjoy and be grateful that we can still come together. And we talked about possibly rescheduling this event, but I really felt like, and Kathryn and Lavar and Ryan all agreed that this conversation that we wanted to have today needed to take place in the beginning of the year. So we hope that everyone will get something out of the conversation and hopefully take some of the things that we're going to talk about back to your communities and help kind of implement some of the things that we're gonna talk about. So let me start with hello, my name's Tess Sobomehin Marshall. I am the founder and director of Running Nerds LLC. I also am leader of West Midtown Run Club, Running Nerds, running community, race director here, and friend to mostly everyone who is on this call. Um, I will give each of our panelists, our super panelists, an opportunity to just quickly introduce themselves and their affiliation, and then we're going to get right into the conversation. So let's start with Kathryn. All right, you got to unmute, Kathryn. There you go. Let me see if I can do that. There we go. That might help.
Okay, very good. Hi, I'm Kathryn. I'm just the founder of the Mindful Miles Run Club in Chamblee. We meet every Monday in downtown Chamblee at 6:30. And then as well as we do latte laps for different coffee shops around the city on Sundays at 9. I started the club in mid-September of 2024, and it's been the most incredible journey and did not expect it to become what it has grown to in today, and just seeing the community build. So I'm very appreciative of Tess inviting me on this panel to talk about some of our club and our experiences, and then hearing about everybody else too.
Awesome. Welcome, Kathryn. All right, next we'll go to Lavar.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lavar Jacobs Sr. I'm a leader of Built to Last Run Club. We run in the Buckhead area at 6:30 every Wednesday. We just love curating the vibes, keeping the Atlanta running scene popping, and I really enjoy the fact that we're even in it right now. Um, just trying to spread as much positivity, happiness, and joy as we possibly can, and I'm excited to do it through running. So thank you very much for having me. I'm feeling super. I'm on a super panel. It's gonna be super. So
Yes, and thank you, LeVar, for reminding me to mention, all of you here today are witnessing the very first of many to come super panels with Tess, and I couldn't ask for a better group of panelists to kick off. They have been crowned the inaugural super panel, and we will always remember this moment. We are recording this the meeting, so we'll have an opportunity to archive it. Did you guys get that notification that says we are recording, so everybody is aware you all complied? Okay, good. All right, and then last but not least, Mr. Ryan Rogers.
What's going on, guys? I'm Ryan with Run Smyrna. We started this June 2013, so we've been doing this a pretty good long time. This is actually my second run club. I started one outside of Memphis when I lived up there. Um, but but yeah, I'm just looking forward to um, talking about running and let's see what we can build here community wise. The reason I started Run Smyrna was purely for community. So this is a great panel to be on. I appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. So again, today isn't about mileage or pace or perfection. We would really want to talk about community and people and how movement does build community, belonging and connection. My quick story is, I moved to Atlanta in 2010, did a race and realized that, hey, this is something that I enjoyed doing for my own body. I was a basketball athlete, and I knew that playing basketball, pickup basketball, as a a way of staying in shape was not sustainable. So fast forward to 2011, I ran a second race, and then really was like, man, this would be really cool to do this more often and use this as a way to meet people. I joined Black Girls Run, became a leader in Black Girls Run, and literally 15 years later, I can say that was one of the best decisions. It led to my best friendships, my career, my marriage, and I guess essentially my daughter. So because I decided to run, I have a beautiful daughter. That's where it pretty much all ends. So um, let's, Brian, I'm gonna stay with you since we just heard from you. Start just in one sentence. What did running or walking, wherever you are in your journey, give you that you didn't expect? Like, what was that expectation that was like, man,
Yeah, so clarity, the word I was going to use, because it's one of those things I've been running forever, but one of the things I didn't quite think about was your time on the pavement, in the trail, whatever, and running. That gives you time with yourself in your head and allows other people to stay out. So it's clarity, number one.
very cool. LeVar, one sentence. If you can do it in one sentence, what did running or walking give you that you didn't expect?
even more purpose than I already had. Just having the ability to impact the lives of someone. Every Wednesday we have our run, and knowing that's their outlet, that's their time that they can come out and decompress from the work week and everything going on. Just knowing that we are that safe space for people every single week, that gave me even more purpose than I already had in life.
Very cool, very cool. Kathryn, same question to you.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know why I can't.
Uh-oh. There you go. I'm clicking the ask to unmute buttons. I think it pops up for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just going off of like what the bar said, that it's given me a lot of purpose. I started Mindful to give myself community, but also to promote a community, of course, in my own neighborhood in Chamblee. But then as I've gone through being a leader in this space, like it's given me like the purpose of I work in healthcare and I love like working in that space, but I feel like I was definitely born to exist in like the health and wellness space. And the like event planning and doing all the runs and everything, like this is what I was meant to do on this earth, was to have a group like this and lead and to see people improve, to for them to again get their own community, and it's the most rewarding thing. And I thought it was just going to be a one time a week kind of deal, run and then everyone hang out a little bit and go, but it's now become a large portion of my life.
Well, it sounds like we all kind of had a semi like selfish reason for starting, and then immediately when you get into becoming like the leader and growing, it becomes something bigger than you. Would you all agree with
Mhm.
that?
Yes.
I'm gonna stay with you. You talked on this a little bit, but what problem were you trying to solve by starting Mindful Miles, and who were you building it for?
So I've been a runner since I ran cross country in high school, and that's when you were like in a team, in a team setting, and doing all these races every single week, and it definitely was a memorable experience. And when you go to college, you kind of if you're not that fast, like just kind of don't tend to not continue that, especially if you're not doing it like on a team or anything. But I picked running back up when I went to grad school to help myself give myself some clarity during like studying a lot. And but then it was like lonely to like run by myself. And then when I finally settled back in Atlanta, and then like COVID was over, I just like the urge to have that community again and that team spirit was getting like becoming more and more and more. And then I was like, you know what, it's time. And so once I figured out the name and the logo, I just decided to launch. And yeah, I was just really finding a community for myself. But then I realized that like if I wanted to run with the other clubs, like the ones that were a little bit deeper into Atlanta, from like Chamblee all the way up into even the Beltline, it takes like 50 minutes of traffic. And me running my routes at home, I was like, this is a perfect place for a lot of runners who would like to challenge themselves to run at. So then I was like, well, why can't we just have a community like on the kind of more almost the outside of the perimeter of Atlanta? So we don't have to go all the way down that far. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this group, it feels the same way, that you don't need to just be on the Beltline for amazing running. There are so many different places that you can go. And so that's kind of, it turned into community for me, but then it turned to community for Chamblee. And I want our area to be known as a place where we are active here and the streets are safe and that people, there's like life in life here.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm very familiar with Ryan and his beautiful, awesome wife Holly's story, like startup story. So I would guess that you would say the first problem you were trying to solve, Ryan, was, hey, I just want to be able to go down the street from my house and run. Because they started their run club literally less than a mile from their house. So, Ryan, in the beginning, what values shaped Run Smyrna? Like, how would you describe Run Smyrna, and how has that changed over the last, what, 15 years?
Hadn't changed a bit. But the initial reason was self accountability, right? Me
Mhm.
starting the week off right on a Monday and being able to progress. And the second was just building community. I think it still says on some of the profiles that come meet your neighbors, and that was kind of the sole purpose. And like the same thing you said with running community and being out there by yourself. I mean, yeah, I like to work out, play basketball. That's the reason I've been running my whole life. But the community aspect has been the largest thing. And as we built, it's I feel like just gotten stronger. So
Awesome, awesome. Lavar, how would you describe a Built to Last Wednesday night experience? So, like, what are people gonna experience? What are they gonna feel when they show up to a Built to Last run?
They're gonna feel the authentic vibes. They're gonna feel the welcoming, personalities that we have. I've met every single person that comes to Built to Work Wednesday. I walk up to them, I get their Instagram, we have a conversation about what brought them there, maybe what races or goals they have. I just like to get to know everyone. I want everyone to feel like they belong. Where all paces welcome. I'm actually with the walkers pretty much every Wednesday because nobody left behind, and I just
Shout
like
out
to
to the
make sure.
walkers, man.
How do I walk?
I said
Easy.
shout out to the walkers. Gotta love it.
Oh, yeah. I love my walkers. and just good personalities, but it's very vibrant. We have a very excited, happy community. We got the music playing, we got the big speaker walking through Buckhead. So, you're gonna feel the vibes. You're gonna see it, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna understand what Built to Last is all about.
And I have a feeling that the whole community feels it, not just the people who are showing up for the run and the walk, right?
Yes,
Now,
yes.
those of you who are on the call who have been thinking about starting a run club or starting something around your neighborhood, notice that none of us talked about logistics as our starting point. Everything has been about people and about a personal need, meeting a need. Logistics, it may never come, honestly. And I mean, I can tell you, West Midtown Run Club, our logistics are very basic. We have a place that we meet, we set up a flag, people come, we talk about the route, we take off. Definitely, there's some other run clubs around the city that might have a little bit more legit, have to think about logistics more depending on where they're located. But really, it's about the people showing up and getting in what they need and getting out of their experience what they need. Um, Ryan, let me start with you on this one. What do you say to someone who feels like running and walking isn't for them? I know you're a man around Smyrna. You meet somebody and you say, hey, I started a run club, or I'm the leader of the run club, or we have a run club, or however and they say, oh, that's just not for me. I've always wanted to do it, but it's not for me. How do you address those concerns?
Um, Pretty simply, I just if you're not growing, you're dying. So you got to keep moving. Moving is medicine. If you're not out here moving every day of the week, I mean, you're just slowly passing away. So that's kind of the biggest thing for me is just being active regardless of anything else.
Mhm. Kathryn, what about you? How do you address that concern that people have that, oh, it's running, it looks cool. I love what y'all doing, but that's not for me.
Yeah, I say the same thing that Ryan says. Is like, yeah, we have running and walking essentially is the foundation of us to be able to mobilize as humans. And so a lot of the times I use like a lot of my personal experiences. Like since I work in neurosurgery, so I see people who cannot have the ability to walk, or they have debilitating back pain, or they have a brain tumor, or something that's preventing them from doing the things, having a quality of life. And so it's like a lot of the times I'm like, yeah, it's not intimidating. Like, yeah, you can just walk just a little bit is how far ever you want. You can run as much as you want. But it's important for you to mobilize now, because if you're not strong now, it's going to be much harder for you later on. When maybe a hill to get over, just getting strong now, but then later in life, it's going to be a mountain. So I said, like, we are a group that will happily accept you. We don't judge you. We just want everyone to remain happy and healthy. And I said, like, there is nothing that is wrong with that. And if it's not for you, then that's a-okay. But I think you should be open to trying new things.
Yeah. And I think we can all attest to the fact that, people are listening and watching. And I try to share my peak times in my running journey when I'm like hitting on all cylinders, training for a race, PRing. And I also share when, okay, y'all, it was just a struggle for me to get out the door and I got 1 mile around the neighborhood. So being able to share that there are levels to this running and walking game, we use the term run, but I always tell people run, the word run is basically forward movement with a purpose. So however it is, doesn't matter the pace. Like Lavar said, the walkers should feel like that they're getting in the same quality as someone who's going out trying to run a 6 minute mile. So that's important to have your little spiel. Those of you who are on the call listening, either you're interested in running, you're active in a running community, or you're looking for a running community. And just know that all of these groups and so many groups around the Metro Atlanta area are there for you and welcoming for you. And everybody can't be last. That's what I always say. Everybody can't be last. You worried about being last, and then somebody got to be last. So it's both ways. Everybody can't be last, but somebody does have to be last. So Lavar, tell us what keeps someone coming back week after week. So you get those folks that do break through and they have that first experience. You're welcoming, you're smiling. And I'm asking this as advice too, because I feel like West Midtown Run Club, we're like one of the most welcoming groups, but I feel like we kind of almost scare people away because we're so nice. We'll like pounce on the new people. Be like, yeah, and then da 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 da. So what makes people keep coming back? Like, have you heard that feedback from some of your members?
Well, a lot of people they just enjoy the encouragement and like I said, the vibes. It's like a run party, a walk party. Like it's more of a party than it is anything else. So the vibes, the encouragement. So many people, I promise you, have met their best friends that they currently have from coming to Built to Last. Like I really love when I get online and see two people from Built to Last hanging out or a group of people that all met last year at Built to Last, and now they're best buddies. So that really makes me happy. So I think a lot of people are looking for community, and when they come to Built to Last, they find that. So that keeps them coming back, and they're getting better. Like we have a 2 mile and a 4 mile route. So many people have upgraded to the 4 mile route. The 2 mile used to be super packed, and now people are like, I'm about to do four. I'm doing a Peachtree Road race this year. I gotta get up to 6 miles. Like so, just enjoying everybody getting better. I think that's why they come back. We encourage it. This is family. I love it. Oh, don't get me started.
No, but listen, like I was saying, I've had to back down on, like I said, the pouncing on, the new people because we'd be so excited for them and their running journey. So now we play it cool. It's almost like when you meet somebody, you like really like them a lot, but you don't want to come off too thirsty. So we just, okay, we're here. I mean, take it if you need some help. And then after the run, we meet at Monday Night Brewing now, so you get, free beer. You get, discount on foods, hey, if you want to join us, you can join us. And then when they come back the second week, it's like, okay, you family now. We go together. So raise your hand in the audience here if community and not competition is what made you decide to start running. Like community was more important than getting out and PRing. I can see most of you, but you can raise your hand if you're on camera or hit the little hand raise button. All right, and I think that's a general theme here. Let me go back to Kathryn. So, getting personal a little bit, how has consistent movement changed you outside of running? So, I know you mentioned that you had a background in running, but like this adult level running with like a full-time job and a mortgage and all that is totally different. How has it changed you personally?
Oh, that's I feel like such a low question. It's been like such a journey to learn things about myself in terms of, yeah, even from a like athletic running standpoint, to be able to like function as leader but also like fund my own like training as well. Like this group in this community is taught me, number one, to be efficient with my time, and to be able to like really know, like get a sense of like what is important, and that's helped to like really guide the values of like mindful as well. It was like at first, I think, at the beginning it was like exciting, wanted to jump in and do everything, but then as I've kind of discovered like what this group is and what we're kind of setting the tone for the running I guess community here in like our local area, like what do I want that to be reflective of? And I want us to continue to focus on just being open and accepting. And so as a runner who used to be by themselves all the time and used to think only in that sense, really to understand like how to make everything that we do so open and accessible. And so that just changed like my own training. That's changed again just how I view like my own leadership and everything. So it's touched on a lot of different points of myself and growing, and that's reflected in the group as well.
And I really would love for you to talk a little bit about how you infuse your personal culture into your run club as well, because I think that is super cool and something that everyone in the audience can learn. Like that's something that you can do as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think that now having some more solid like foundation and like being a little bit more creative to give people unique perspectives and experiences. And I think that mindful leashes, we're very we have a lot of like just like fun events where I want people to have a different perspective on running, but also again like the experience in different culture. And so recently we had like our Kazuna event, which kazuna is a word in Japanese that essentially is like the bond that brings people together, and it was something that was a link for the people in Japan after they had a like terrible earthquake in 2013. And so it's not just simply a bond that's just like, oh, we're here and we're doing this together. It's deeper than that. It's something that it's relationships, and relationships require work, and it's going through things, and it just and experiencing things together. And so that's kind of the foundation of some of the values of Mindful Miles, is that like, yeah, we're all here running together, but we want like you to experience more than that. We want you to have a different perspective on your communities. We want you to go out and like serve your communities, and as well as to like to build within yourself. And when you do that collectively as a group of people, then I think it just makes like things that used to be unobtainable very achievable. And so it was cool to be able to share that perspective with the group recently, and brought in a lot of like some Japanese vendors that were that I've developed a relationship with. So different products, different things that are kind of supporting the idea of bringing people together to expose them to different things that's going to help them through their journeys, and of course like interacting with unique people as well. So we had that, and then we have Chinese Lunar New Year coming up, so we're going to do that in the Atlanta Chinatown the day before Lunar New Year. So we're wanting to people to bring their mahjong sets if they have them, teach people how to play. Especially support the vendors in the Chinatown as well. So it's just a fun event, just to give you just a different perspective. And Asian culture is very focused on love and our love for food, and just some bonding together. And so that's kind of what I do best.
Oh, so cool. I really loved what you're doing. And I think that's a really cool, like thinking about when I first moved to Atlanta in my early 30s, and connection, community was really important to me. Moving to a new city as an adult is tough. You have to make friends, you have to learn about the city. So I think what you're doing not only brings people in from that health perspective that we're talking about, but being able to like embed yourself in this huge city and find a niche. That's awesome. Lavar, can you talk a little bit about this is like our like educational side of running that we're in now. This is the section we're in now. But how important is what's the role of community in mental health, and what's the role of these run clubs all around town in mental health? How's that important?
So overall, when it comes to mental health of just a human these days, let's just take it all the way down. We're all looking for community, people to be around, people that make you happy. And like I said, giving people the space to decompress on a Wednesday, come somewhere. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to bring anything. It's free. We're just outside. We got water for you. We got different vendors for you. Just making everyone feel welcome. I think that really boosts mental health, and breathing in the outdoors and nature, that boosts mental health. So, we're really, really focused on the health equity overall of our community, period. And Built to Last, we're focused on the overall health of Atlanta. So we go out, we feed the homeless with the Big Wave family every Saturday, every first Saturday of the month. Because like Kat said, it's deeper than running. We want to really make an impact. We want to do a lot more than just run and go home. We want to leave a lasting impact on the city of Atlanta and make everyone feel better. When you see all of this on Instagram and you see it in person, I want you to see it and smile. I wanted to bring those positive, what's endorphins, or what's it?
That's them, the endorphins, yep.
Yes, I want those positive endorphins to flow. You feel me, Ryan? I want everything just to be positive and happy. Like even me, I go through a lot of things, and Wednesday, I know for a fact I'm about to see my people. We're gonna smile, we're gonna be happy. When it's over around 8:30, I'm back in regular life, and that is what it is. But during that time period, everybody can smile, be happy, be joyous, and we're there for each other. Like so. Yeah, I think mental health plays a large part in what we do.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. Wednesdays have changed for me over there. Our run club meets on Wednesdays as well. And so when I first started West Midtown Run Club, I was single, again, still fairly new to Atlanta. So it was like here, meet my friends. Then, I met my husband and got married. So it kind of changed. Like he would come with me to Run Club sometimes he wouldn't, but he knew that that was my thing. Now, as a mother, Wednesday nights is literally my one night a week. You know, I call it my running hall pass. When, you know, I tell my husband, like, I'm going to run club tonight. I'm leaving. I probably will. I stay late so that he can, you know, have his daddy daughter time. So it's really like change, but it's so important. If I can't even imagine what it would be like if I didn't have that time. You know, again, you unplug, you know, you don't check your email on your phone. Like everything's so accessible now. You have conversations, you check in with your friends, you see how their life's going. And everybody's kind of doing the same thing. They're kind of like brain dumping during this time. So yeah, I totally, you know, I hope everyone really understands that these run clubs that are coming up all over the city, I don't think we have enough. We have a lot. I don't think we have enough. I believe that people should not have to drive more than 15, 20 minutes to get to a run club. So the more that we can have, I think it's great. So yes, that's exactly where we are. Let me take a moment to pause. We have a lot of people who have joined the conversation since we started. So I wanted to just kind of reintroduce. I'm Tess Sobomehin Marshall, founder of Running Nerds. I'm a race director, run club leader. I lead the West Midtown Run Club on Wednesday nights in West Midtown. Ryan, just real quick, reintroduce yourself, your club, and where you guys are meeting and what night.
Ryan Rogers runs Smyrna Monday nights in Smyrna Market Village at Stout Brothers.
All right, Lavar.
Lavar D. Jacobs, Senior, Built to Last Run Club. We meet in Buckhead every Wednesday. We run right past Lenox Mall. The Peachtree Road Race route is our route. You know,
Okay,
they we
practicing.
we're on that route. So yeah, that's exactly where we run at. Every Wednesday, 6:30 meetup, 7 o'clock takeoff, and then yeah, that's us.
All right, and Kathryn.
Yeah, Kathryn Iwasaki with Mindful Miles. We meet at Chamblee Tapper Market on every Monday, and then various coffee shops all over Atlanta on Sundays at 9.
Awesome, awesome. So you see, we're, you know, spread out. We're not just, you know, all in one central location. You know, wherever it works. I'm a big fan, a big believer in like whatever quadrant you live, that's where you should be doing your activities. Like I don't expect, we do have people who travel from like the northeast suburbs to come and run with us, which is great. But like you shouldn't have to drive all over the city. There are so many opportunities. And when I met Kathryn, I was like, man, I'm so glad that you started Mindful Miles because people would ask me all the time, where can I run like north in the north part of the city? And I wouldn't know where to tell them. So now, Kathryn, I hope you've been seeing some of these people I've been throwing your way. Like, go check out Mindful Miles. And then I also want to take a quick moment to say thank you also to REI, who is our, you know, our host for this event. They were extremely excited about hosting us at their perimeter store to have this conversation. And, you know, I told them that we really wanted to move forward with the conversation. So be on the lookout for more events in support of the running community from REI moving forward. All right. So we're going to just do a couple of more questions and then we want to hear from our audience. If you guys have anything you specifically want to ask, let me go to Lavar. Lavar, what is the most underrated place in Atlanta to run and walk? I know you guys run the Peachtree route on Wednesdays, but you guys travel around and run different parts of the city as well. Where would you say is the most underrated place to go get in a run?
Me personally, I run either in Buckhead or on the Belt Line.
Okay.
But I live in Gwinnett. So there's a park by my house. It's called Rabbit Hill.
Okay.
I like to run there. That's where if like so on Wednesdays, I'm more of a facilitator. That's not my time to run.
Mhm.
I run by myself, usually at Rabbit Hill. And nobody ever comes out here. But Kathryn came to visit me and we went for a run slash walk. It was really mostly walk. She's really good at
Hey,
running. I'm
forward
not.
movement with a purpose. That's all we talking about.
But
Yeah, that's when I met Lavar, like I was like he told me that he lived in Gwinnett, and I was like, oh wow, you live like deep. So of all people who are out here, Lavar travels far to get to Built to Last. Like
Yeah.
that is dedication. That is like just he's amazing. And we walked for like 5 or 6 miles, and we just talked the entire time. And like Lavar, your again, your dedication, your group is incredible. Because to get through that traffic to get to Buckhead like every week, respect.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So would you second Rabbit Hill? Is an underrated place to go run?
So quiet and like everything is nice and paved, and there's a lot of different kind of intersecting trails. So I think that people should go out to Lavar more.
All right. Hey, built to last Gwinnett. I like it. All right, Ryan, what are there any spots around the Smyrna area that people need to know about to run and walk?
Well, the biggest complaint that we always hear is how hilly it is, so I always try to make sure that gets injected. There's really not a short route, but if you look around like the Strava heat map, definitely Concord's a big spot, just because you got the multi-use trail and you can connect to Marietta or the Silver Comet. So you see a lot more activity down through there.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of training miles in Smyrna. I used to live right down the street from where Run Smyrna meets, and Atlanta Road to Windy Hill to what is that little cut, the Village Street. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite, like little 8 mile routes because it's got some hills in it, but it's paved all the way. The traffic lights usually are cooperative, and then if you want to, you can just jump on Silver Comet Trail and get some mindless miles there. So instead of mindful miles, mindless miles, Catherine. So I'll jump in with my underrated. I mean, again, we run in West Midtown. One of the flattest sections of the city of Atlanta is starting, let's say, at the Lululemon store in Howell Mill and just staying on Marietta, Howell Mill into Marietta. You can literally run somewhat flat. There's a couple of little like bump inclines all the way to Decatur, pretty much, if you stay on that one road. So that's one underrated. Route. Now coming back, it's kind of feels more uphill, but the down part, if you want to do like a point to point, that's one of the most underrated little routes in Atlanta, like downtown, midtown Atlanta. Kathryn, you got any up in Chamblee? Like where's the best place? If I just find myself in Chamblee on
Yeah.
night a night, not Monday night, where should I be running?
I say, I mean, the Chamblee Rail Trail is something that it's just this kind of smaller stretch of just like paved slash like wooden I guess like planked running trails that kind of cuts through the middle of Chamblee, and apparently they were supposed to link it to the belt line somehow some way, so that it's still in development and they're building new parks. But yeah, so that's kind of the crux of where we spend a lot of time because it's very quiet. A lot of the times, like when you're like running out there, like there's a lot of lights and it feels, to me it feels very very safe, so
Mhm.
that's a great place. But the most underrated place that we have discovered, that I discovered on a long run, is the Assembly Movie Studios. So the Assembly Movie Studios that shoots a lot of like Universal Studios, I think like production and some movies and things. So they have a pretty large property that's in like Doraville, on the borderline of Chamblee, behind like the Doraville H Mart area. And I showed up one day and they built this like really nice like fountain, and it's just like this kind of empty plot of land, and I think they're supposed to expand it, but it's a very slow process. But the park is open to anybody. There's nothing there, but it's still very nice.
Mhm.
And so it's a very private area for you to run that is shockingly flatter than you expect, for compared to some other routes. But we go there, and then they have different building faces from different for different sets that you can see from the backside. So then you have New York kind of faces, and then
Oh,
some a
that's
little bit, yeah,
dope.
inspired but more like Italian. So when you walk through it, it's always very well lit. It's just different movie sets that you can see for the background. And there's one person who did find an open door that led into a costume a costume room, but it's like really interesting just to get a
You
small
guys are
taste of.
like you guys are like Goonies running out there, like discovering and dipping into
Yeah.
places. I
Yeah, so
love
there's a
that.
lot in Chamblee, and that's why I love it. Because and once the daylight savings is comes back into play, there's even like a park that you can watch a lot of the private planes from the airport, the local airport that's here. So we're gonna like run to that, and it's really cool. So there's a lot of different places. If you get out, put your shoes on, and you go outside, you'll be very surprised what you discover in your own communities.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I mean, you think about different routes. Different routes can definitely like play into helping runners and people feel included in your run. Also making them feel safe. Like one of the things that you have to keep in mind when you're planning your run group, The only logistical thing you got to make sure is that people have a place to park that's safe and they have a place to refuge if for some reason, it's crazy out, rain, snow, whatever. I mean, people are going to show up if they're going to show up. But if they do show up, having different places, having a safe place for them to be able to refuge, even if it's their car, like as long as they have a place where they can refuge. So those are the logistical things that you do have to consider. Also, making sure people know how to get to where you're telling them to go. And Ryan can share with you any experiences. Oh, okay, we got some real snow coming, y'all. We got snow in Southwest Atlanta.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
So if a person wanted to have a 5K in the
Mhm.
city of Atlanta, right? What would be the easiest place to do it and get a permit and not have to like get police and everything, but it still be nice, like official
Well, that's a
bids
loaded
and medals
question.
and stuff.
That's a loaded
Okay.
question. That's where you really got to think about logistics. Really, like now you say no permit and no police.
No, you get a permit. No,
You
you
get a
that's
permit,
easy to
but
get a
there's no.
permit.
So really, if you are able, and I'm just going to give you a short answer. There's a lot more to it. If
Oh,
you're
I'll be
able to
calling you.
find a park where you can run completely inside the park, and that doesn't
No.
doesn't necessarily have to be City of Atlanta Park, whatever jurisdiction that park's in, that's who you would have to get the permit with. If you're able to find a location where you completely inside the park, you're not running out onto any city streets, whatever city it is, then you're able to do it. Usually you still have to get at least one police officer to be on site. But like Piedmont Park, obviously, West Side Park, there are routes that you can do completely inside West Side Park. Brook Run Park up in what is it, Dunwoody? Yeah, anyway, up there. That's another one. So those are the that's the situation that yields permit, low key, and then parking. You got to keep in mind parking. The issue with Piedmont Park is people have to park outside of the park. So that's where the permit and all that comes in. And Lavar,
Thank
you
you.
got to schedule a consultation with me to talk about race events now. Come on.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
All right, so here's my last question. And then we're gonna open it up if anyone has any questions. Let's see, LeVar, you already with me, so we'll start with you. What does healthy collaboration between all these amazing run clubs that we have around the city look like? How can we support each other? How can we collaborate? I mean, I personally, I don't feel like there's any competition amongst run clubs, but I do feel like we could do a better job of collaborating and supporting. What does that look like for you, LeVar?
So for me, I'm so coming from the nonprofit space in my nonprofit organization, breast cancer awareness, not just October, shameless plug. But so I'm one of those people, I love to work with other people because at the end of the day, whoever you know, I don't know. So if you know 5 people, I know 5 people, bring them together. Now it's 12 of us instead of just me and my 5 people.
Yep.
So I am always excited to work with people because one, like it's not a competition when there's millions of people in Atlanta.
Yes.
I can't get millions of people out in Buckhead. It's impossible. They're not coming. So why wouldn't we work together to change the most lives? Because at the end of the day, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to change lives and make people more happy. It's not about like numbers or anything like that. We're just trying to make a huge difference. So collaboration is very, very big on me. That's how I know. That's how I know Kat. That's how
Yeah,
I
that's how
know.
you met me. You
Yeah,
reached
that's
out to me. You said, "Hey, how can we collaborate?"
yeah.
So
So
your
like
your biggest thing is just meeting people and saying, "Hey, let's connect." I love that.
yes,
Ryan,
yes.
what about you? How do you think we could how can we do a better job of collaborating with clubs around the city of Atlanta?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's one of my initiatives in 26, and that's why this is so great is getting back out in the ecosystem and going and seeing people now that I have a little more time on my hands. Like I can feel Lavar's energy through his reels on his Instagram, and it's amazing. I want to go be a part of that. So yeah, I think it's just outreach and getting to know each other. Just same thing about people coming to Run Group and or hesitant to come to run group because they're too slow or whatever the deal is. And I think it's just getting out. And the more we know each other, the more we can lean on each other for our abilities, our strengths, our weaknesses, if I'm running a 5K, there's only one person I'm calling, and she's right beside me on the screen right here. So
You
yeah,
Wendy's next to you on mine, so you
yeah.
calling on Wendy? No, I'm just playing.
But but yeah, that's it. I think it's just us getting out. I mean, I all the time have other run group leaders coming to run Smyrna just to see what we're doing and how we grew, kind of the way we grew. And part of our growth is just because of the sprawl of, of the, of the metro. But it's still been a cool thing. And I think we can just invoke like what we've learned on others to grow the
Yes.
community greater.
Sharing common practices and knowledge, I hear that, and I hear definitely getting out and being supportive of what everyone's doing. Love that. All right, Kathryn, what's your kind of big idea? I know you've already implemented a couple of them and definitely share that one. But yeah, what is your idea of how this community that we have can continue to collaborate and grow?
Yeah, so yeah, just kind of going off what everyone has said that yeah, it's like we as a you can't be a community without connecting with other communities. And of course like running, like you don't just really I think it's encouraging people to run outside of their normal spaces. And so when you're able to connect with people in different regions, then you see that the even though we have a smaller community, but it is you're actually part of something that is much larger and greater.
Hmm.
And again, if you're happen to let's say take a meeting or have something in this one area, be like, hey, go run with Smyrna. Go like here, this is our my guy named Ryan. He's super cool. Like go hang out. Same thing. You're in Buckhead. Like I know this guy Lavar. Like go to that group. Like you will feel again just a different experience. And I just think it just makes people have a deeper connection to running when you know that it's crazy. It's like individual, but it's also like a shared experience as well. Because like when you run races, like that is like your own performance.
Hmm.
But when you go in with a group, then it kind of again becomes like a shared experience now. And yeah, so when actually the first, besides Brookhaven Run Club, which is pretty much like our sister run club at this point, Lavar was the first person, or somebody on your social, I'm pretty sure it's Lavar, to reach out to Mindful to be like, hey, we have this thing in Buckhead. Let's like, let's meet and let's connect. And that was the first time that somebody else has reached out versus me reaching out to other people. And it was a good feeling. I was like, I felt like very seen, like my community felt very seen, and like we've done a lot of different collabs since then, and fostered like a unique relationship and partnership. So it's been cool just to grow in that sense. But over Thanksgiving, I did have a Run Club Leaders Friendsgiving. Ryan, you are invited to our next one, but it was cool in like my own home to have the most altruistic people in the city in one place
Yeah.
where we all talked about our own communities, and nobody's in this for money. No one's getting paid. Like it is something that we are so passionate about that we take our own time and our own money and our own like sweat and tears to pour into our groups, just because we love it that much. And it's when you're around the like-minded individuals, I don't know, then it just gives the Atlanta community I don't know, something deeper feeling. And I met some people from, and not dinging on any of like the bigger cities running communities, but I've heard some whispers in like places like New York and like LA. There's a lot of clubs and they tend to fight with each other a lot because they're fighting for a lot of resources. And I've said very, very like openly that like I do not want Atlanta to become that way. Like
No.
there is no point in chicken fighting for this and this and this territory and this running path. Like we're all the same and we're all just here to just show up, run, have a good time, meet cool people.
Yep.
That's it. And
Thank you,
so
Kathryn. Thanks for saying that. Snaps on that.
yeah. And
You
so the
did. You
fact that like,
different.
yeah, we have this running, like all of us are in this panel, and I hope that we continue to do that. And there's just ample of opportunities for us to highlight each other's spaces and be true to who we are. Because I will not stand, like, let's say, a brand trying to come in to define our own community and put like barriers and restrictions what we can and can't do. Is like if you don't let us be ourselves, then like, sorry, you can't be a part of this.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you guys. That's amazing. I think we are definitely a model for the nation. People that come to run in Atlanta for various, national events like in Atlanta Track Club events, the race, these hot chocolate events that I can't believe are still happening. Actually, they switched to virtual, right? That's crazy. Anyway, but people talk about how Atlanta, it just feels so different, and it's so true. Kathryn's Friendsgiving event was so amazing. You know, I kind of got like sideways invited because someone knew that I was saying, "Hey, Tess, you want to come to this?" And I'm gonna be honest with you, I almost didn't go because I was like, I don't know anybody. And then that was the exact reason why I decided to go. I was like, I need to get to know these folks because they are doing great work. I mean, I knew Lavar, I knew Shannon, and it was literally one of the coolest nights. Of the year for me from a running perspective. So, Kathryn, thank you for hosting that. We're excited to see that grow. You might have to, put a little extra space on your house next year, once the word gets out. But yeah, so those are the types of things, the grassroots things that have started our community, that help grow our community. I want to keep those going. My big answer to that is exactly what we're doing here. I want to continue throughout this year to host these talks. We're going to talk and meet a lot of the Atlanta running community leadership, people who are doing great things and literally just want to see us grow and flourish. And, like Kathryn said, running is personal, but when you attach yourself and align yourself with these communities, it becomes so much more than just about you. It's the coolest thing because it can be personal and about others at the same time, right? I'm going to get out there and, if Kathryn and I are running the same half marathon, we're both going to do 13.1 miles. We're both going to pass through all the same, see the same things along our route. We're both going to have the same start line and the same finish line, but it's personal because what happens between the start and the finish is personal for us. So that's the beauty of starting a running journey, being a part of this community, and continuing on. All right, that's all I have for our panel questions. I do want to open it up for a few minutes. I want to keep this thing right at an hour. Let's see. Let me go to the chat and see if there's any questions there. But if anyone has a question, if you want to unmute, please make sure you direct your question at one of the panelists so that we can unmute and answer. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there's any questions in the chat. A lot of shout outs. All right. Hold on. Let's see. All right. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Did we cover everything, y'all? All right. So Ryan has already kind of started the trend. If everybody could all of our panels throw your Instagram, how you like to be contacted in the chat. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Hello, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no problem. What's
This is
up?
Regina. I'm glad I joined this panel to listen to it, with the cancellation and all. But Ryan, you said you meet in Smyrna Village?
Correct. Yeah. In Smyrna Market Village, that's Stout Brothers. It's a little beer store. We've been there longer than they've been around, but somehow their anniversary is farther out than mine. I always laugh about that. But yeah, we're in Market Village, 6:30. When we first started coming, they didn't even have like beer by the glass, so it was just be us. And now, present day, you might have 120 Run Smyrnas in this little bitty, a little bitty store. But it's fun, and you can't build community any better than being in a can of sardines.
So it's Monday, 6:30 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think you're the closest to where I'm in West Cobb. And actually, I have a great venue, but it's Mud Creek. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They've got parking. It's mainly a soccer complex. So in the middle, in the bowl area of the thing is all the soccer with the little kids and grown-ups. And around the soccer field, it's one lap is half a mile. So it's a track. You do have a lot of walkers and pets. But if you go, like the off times, it'll be a good place for, like Lavar was saying, he needed some place where you don't need a permit. I don't think you need a permit for there, but you can investigate Mud Creek if a group is joining. But there's ample parking and it's safe. So that's where I go to run and walk.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Rosina. I see your name. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that. And that brings me to another great point that I wanted to highlight here is, those of you who meet, the groups that meet at a standing place on your weekdays, definitely explore the idea of getting out on weekends and trying out new locations. These are great opportunities for collaborations, like Lavar and Kathryn were talking about. And then supporting our local race community. We all do a great job of that, but getting out and supporting either races that are right there in your city, in your jurisdiction, sorry, your neighborhood, and then also our big mega events, our major events, Atlanta Track Club events, the race. We want to see all representation around the Metro Atlanta at the race in October. And then a lot of these run stores and stores like REI, Big Peach, they love to have you come and make that your meeting place. We talked about having parking, a place to go to the bathroom, and a place to stay warm during these months or cool during the summer months. The run stores and these stores, they love having you there. We know breweries love having us. So get creative about utilizing those community resources. And it doesn't have to be something where you get something, just, hey, we just want a place where we can park, use your bathroom, and all the rest will naturally happen. Somebody's gonna buy a beer, somebody's gonna buy a pair of socks, whatever, so they get something out of it as well. Awesome, awesome. All right. Unless we have any other questions, someone asked, is the big old group run coming back? You took it way back, Mark. You know what, Mark? Here's where I am with that. We have the big old group run every weekend in the city because there are so many groups that are doing amazing collaborations. The racing season has really picked up. You'd be hard pressed not to find a race every weekend. So my challenge is, let's get more groups coming together for these big old group run like experiences throughout the year. We don't have to wait until, an email comes out saying big old group run. Ryan, connect with Kathryn and Lavar and do a three group run together on the weekend. That's what this weekend was supposed to be, but the snow had other plans. So all right, I think we're gonna call it. Oh, look at me, 10:59. I really appreciate everyone jumping on. We had upwards of 25 people on the call, so that made me feel good. That means we would have had 50 in person, right? Is that how that math
100.
works?
Yes, definitely.
I was curious to see how many people were going to show up to the run, but I was very confident that the panel would be a packed house. So I want to thank Ryan, Kathryn, and Lavar for being the first inaugural super panelist with
Woohoo!
Tess. There will
Let's
be
go.
a pin or something coming your way. Be ready. I want to thank REI for facilitating, hosting this event. And everyone just take something away from here, meet someone new. Love on your run club leaders. So all you Run Smyrna folks that were on here, give Ryan and Holly a big hug on Monday. Y'all give Lavar a big hug and a fist bump. Give Kathryn some kudos. Bring her her favorite candy or something on Wednesday. And all my West Midtown Run Club folks. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be there this week. So that just say, hey, Tess, we're happy you're here this week. So I love y'all. I appreciate you. And I will send a copy of the recording in the Eventbrite. And I'll post some clips. So if anybody wants to kind of revisit this, and you'll have an opportunity to share it as well. Y'all have a great day. Go play in the snow.
Oh yeah.
Bye-bye.
Get it.
Bye.
We'll
Bye,
see y'all.
everybody. Be safe.
You too.